Hello everyone. Today I have come to a place called St Guilhem-le-Désert. It's in a small French valley, and yes, I'm going to show you around because it's so beautiful here, and I thought I would make a small video on my day. Yeah, so let me show you around. All the streets are so beautiful. It's so quiet here. The houses are all made of this same stone, and there's loads of small alleyways like this. Yeah, it's so beautiful. There's a monastery here, so I'm thinking if I make my way up this hill, that's how you get to it. That's what I think. Look. I will update you when I'm at the top. Okay, so I've now come to the abbey, and this sign says basically that it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, or it's on the list. And that the ancient abbey and other notable monuments such in France were milestones on the routes taken in the Middle Ages by countless pilgrims. So there's a bit of history for you. I'm now going to continue up here and see what I find. I've come across a small honey shop. We have loads of local honey and produce like honey vinegar. It looks so nice, and it's called la ruche, which means hive, and I'll always remember this word because two of my cousins used to live in France. They moved there for about a year, and we went to visit them, and let me turn this around. We went to visit them, and my dad speaks quite a bit of French, and he was asking one of my cousins what the French word for hive was. I don't know why. I've forgotten why he was asking, but he couldn't remember the word, and so he asked my cousins, and one of them had to think for a little bit because it's quite an obscure word, obviously, but she remembered and she said, "Ah, la ruche." So I will always remember that. I'm always stuck when I get to a fork in the path like this. I don't know if you can even see up there because it looks a bit dark in the camera, but I'm always stuck on which route to take. I think I'm going to go up here because I can hear people on the other one. It might be a dead end anyway, actually. Oh, no, it's not. Let's see where this goes. Okay, I think it might join back. A kitty cat. Yeah, I think it might join back onto the path anyway, because it goes down there. Okay, so I've come to another fork, but this time it's given me the option of two routes. So the one here is 0.25k, and the one up here is 4k, and it should take me around an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm gonna go up here. There's a small olive grove. Okay, I have quickly realised, I might be a bit backlit, sorry. I've quickly realised that it's way too hot. I should have left my coat in the car. I don't know how many degrees it is, but I'm really warm. I've got little signs telling me where to go, which is good, but jumper's gonna have to come off because I'm warm. This is the view though. I'm sure it will look even more amazing when I get to the top. Then I can have a little bit of food and some water. But yeah, jumper's coming off, going in the rucksack. I have come to the top. I actually was walking down there, but then I remembered that I only had 2.5 hours parking on my car. So I turned around and I think I'm going to eat a bit up here because it's so peaceful and quiet. I'm in a little bit of a dip of the valley, but yeah, it's so nice up here. On my way down, I've spotted this right on the top of a rock, and I'm wondering what it is. It's definitely the remnants of a building. I'm wondering if it's the monastery, but I thought we saw the monastery. Or maybe that was like a, I don't know, a rebuild of that one, because as I was coming up this path earlier, there was a path, I'll see if I can find it again, that went, I think it went in the direction of those things up there, but it had a cross on a rock indicating that I shouldn't go up there, or that it wasn't allowed, wasn't safe. So I'm guessing that was the access point. There's also this cross here. Yeah. So maybe that's something to do with it? What do we think? I'm gonna have a look when I get back down and see what it means. Okay, so this was the sign that I was following, and as I came up here, I didn't know which way it was, this way or this way, and as I went up this way, I had a little red cross, and there was also a yellow cross here, whereas in this direction, oh no, I'm zooming in. In this direction, there was a yellow line here, and also around the corner, then on this rock here, the white and red marks continued. So I'm guessing up there was how you get to those buildings. I'm editing this video and I never really got to the bottom of what the buildings on that cliff top were, because when I tried to Google it, nothing really came up, and I could just read about what the history of the village was. But I just wanted to say that the building on the cliff top, or the buildings or remnants of, there's very little history known about them. The access is now very restricted, so all I could find online was that it is assumed that on this site originally existed a Roman defence structure. Its strategic position at the entrance to the beautiful Verdus Valley obviously made it an excellent means of observation and effective protection. Yeah, that's all that I could really find. There's also a legend about the castle, or the remnants, whatever, is on the top of the hill, and that is that it was the castle of a giant. And this giant lived in the castle accompanied by a magpie. The two of them together terrorised the villagers. And then one day, Guilhem, as in St Guilhem, was fed up with having to contain the fear that the giant caused to the people of the surrounding villages. He decided to disguise himself as a female servant and pretend to be carrying water up to the castle in order to go and fight the giant. While on his way, the magpie, who was prowling the area, noticed that the servant heading towards the castle didn't look quite the same as usual. When he challenged him, the bird recognised Guilhem and flew off to warn the giant, and he said that the giant, this is not your servant girl bringing you your water, it's Guilhem and he's coming to kill you. But the giant was sure of himself and certain of his own superiority, and he ignored the magpie's warnings and opened the door of his fortress. A fierce combat followed, but in the end Guilhem won and threw his adversary over the cliff surrounding the castle, and the magpie, having lost his protector, flew off and went to hide, no one knows where. And apparently, ever since that day, the inhabitants of the village have lived in peace, and although the valley of Gelon has many species of birds, no magpie has been seen.
So that is a legend surrounding the castle. I'm guessing because no one really knows much about it. This legend has been fabricated over the years.
Everything else that I'm going to say in this clip is about the village itself and the abbey in the village, which I walked past earlier on in the video. So I just wanted to add that in because I didn't find the information whilst I was on my walk, so I've just found it now. I've been doing a bit of Googling, and it says St Guilhem-le-Désert. I was pronouncing it Guilhem before, but I think it's Guilhem. Is a commune, and I didn't really know what a commune was. I was guessing it was a small town or village, but it says on Google that a commune is a group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities, or the smallest French territorial division for administrative purposes. And the third definition is the group that seized the municipal government of Paris in the French Revolution and played a leading part in the Reign of Terror until suppressed in 1794. So, commune is a French thing, I think. It's situated in the narrow valley of the Gelone River, and the St Guilhem-le-Désert is essentially a medieval village. Located on the Chemin de Saint-Jacques, way of St James, pilgrim route to Santiago de Compostela. Please excuse my really bad pronunciation of both French and Spanish. And then the history. So because of its isolation, in 1806, St Guilhem, so St Guilhem, established the monastery of Gelone here. If you can hear the works going on in the background, I apologise. Bonjour! I thought I would film up here because they're doing something down in the village, and I didn't know if I filmed down there whether or not you'd be able to hear what I was saying. Okay, so yes, it was established here because of its isolation, and then in 1804 the Count of Toulouse and Duke of Aquitaine, Guilhem in Languedoc, founded at a time when the valley was virtually uninhabited. Hence, it was considered a desert, le désert. So that's why it's called le désert. And I wondered that when I looked at the place on Google. The Abbey of Agnan nearby was founded around 1782 by a relative of Guillaume. St Guillaume is St Guilhem. I think the language evolved over time. It was sold and dismantled during the French Revolution and exported to the United States, where some of it is in the New York Cloister Museum. So I think that explains everything that I wanted to know. Yeah. I'm going to have a bit of food. I'm eating just like a picnic thing. I've got some crisps and some fruit, and then I'm going to make my way back because the time on my parking ticket will be running out soon. I just came across this square, which is where everything's going on. I have been thinking that it's a bit quiet here. I'm wondering why. But then again, there's only around 250 people that live here, so that's probably why. They've got a few shops. And I was going to have something to eat, but I've just realised my time on my car is up, so I'm going to have to go back. Which is a shame. But let's go up here. It's a shame, but I was only going to have a crepe, and I can have that back in Montpellier. So I'm going to make my way back to the car. Hopefully I don't have a ticket. Yeah, didn't realise that I'd been quite a while on the walk. But it's been so lovely here. It's just everything about places like this in France are so nice. Just the buildings, and I don't know, I just feel like we don't really have places like this back in the UK. Yeah, and there's just so many here. So it's been such a nice day. There was a sign when I came in that said there were toilets. So I went into this place here, I'll show you now when I go back in, and I was looking for the toilets and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I will miss France a lot. I will miss many things about France, but something I will not miss is the toilets. I won't show you why, because it's a bit gross, but basically you're lucky if you get a toilet lid. Most of the time it's a hole in the floor, and the first time I saw one of these I thought, oh, I must be in the men's one, but no, it is literally a hole in the floor. You have 2 plates to put your feet on and you just have to squat. And I think I've come across a toilet with an actual lid, like not even the one that covers the toilet, I mean a lid like to go around the rim. Yeah, only come across one of those once. So yeah, France, I will not miss your public toilets. Can you see why I can find them? Yeah, these are the toilets. They're quite cute on the outside, to be honest, but not cute on the inside. Everyone decorates their doors here, guys. Yeah, everyone decorates their doors. And those were thistles back there. I've got a bit of hair poking up. I made it back to my car. Didn't get a ticket, which is good. And I'm going to make my way back now to Montpellier. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I've had a really nice day. It was so nice to get out and explore somewhere new, especially somewhere as beautiful as St Guilhem-le-Désert. So I'm going to leave the video here and see you next time. I've stopped at a bridge that was on the way that I wanted to take a look at on the way back. And the views here are so nice. It goes into this lake which runs off in the river down here. But there's a bridge called the Pondu Diablo, and I'm not sure if it's this one or that one, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's through there. Nope. Yeah, you can just about see it there. So I need to find out which one it is that I'm looking at. Okay, turns out I was right. This one is the old bridge. It was constructed by Benedictine monks in the first half of the 11th century and provided a link between the abbey at Aniane and the Guelon Abbey at St Guilhem-le-Désert, where I just was. So this one here is a new bridge that was built for the traffic, and the road that goes over the top carries the cars. And from that bridge you can get a good view of this bridge down here. And there's also another bridge underneath. I'll walk a bit closer. And I believe that one is a viaduct from what I've read. So yeah, it's very beautiful. And you can see the other one just underneath there, behind it.